program. And we have a student who has come, a good clap for Tony. He's a student and a trainer too.
Respected dignitaries, esteemed faculty, fellow students and guests, good morning. Now from digital novice to master trainer, this is a testament of Jitume and TVET. It is with profound gratitude and immense pride that I stand before you today to share transformative journey, a voice that has been sculpted by the confluence of TVET and the Jitume program. I am Tony Kiplangat, a humble beneficiary of the Jitume initiative. A mere year ago, I embarked on my academic journey at the renowned Rift Valley National Polytechnic, nurturing an ardent passion for information and communication technology. Little did I anticipate that destiny will soon unveil a path of unprecedented growth and accomplishment. In the tapestry of time, August 2023 marked a pivotal point in my life as I embarked the Jitume program with an unyielding spirit to exploration, to grow and to learn and to earn. From the outset, I was captivated by the program's strategic curation of knowledge and its unwavering commitment to empowering young minds. Within the span of a few months, I had went from a great deal of transformation, transcending from a first-year student to a cloud worker, this season to a seasoned task reviewer. Each milestone was a testament to the program's efficiency in honing our skills and nurturing our potential. The culmination of this extraordinary journey was the conferment of the prestigious title of a certified master trainer under the esteemed Kenya School of TVET. The irony, yet the undeniable truth, is that a second-year student is now entrusted with the responsibility of impacting knowledge to individuals possessing advanced degrees. This is not merely a privilege. But a profound validation of the transformative power of TVET and Jitume. It is a testament to the belief that talent knows no age, and that given the right platform, young minds can soar to unprecedented heights. It would be unjust if I did not acknowledge the unwavering support and encouragement of my mother, the bedrock upon which my achievements are founded. The Jitume program, an indispensable cornerstone of the TVET, has not only equipped me with technical proficiency, but has also instilled in me the indomitable spirit of lifelong learner. It has cultivated within me a profound sense of purpose, empowering me to become an agent of change in my community. As we commemorate a century of excellence in technical vocational education training, I implore us to recognize the pivotal role of programs like Jitume in shaping the future of our nation. By investing in the youth, we are investing in the very fabric of our society. Let us continue to nurture an ecosystem where innovation thrives, where young minds are empowered, and where dreams are transformed into reality. Thank you.
Thank you. I think a good applause for youthful trainees. And I think at that juncture, they have allowed us now to proceed with the proceeding of planning for them. Also, our chief guest, allow me now to go to some few remarks concerning this ceremony. At the onset, let me start by expressing my appreciation to you for finding time to join us the fraternity of Kabete National Polytechnic and Kenya as a whole. Let me take this opportunity to express my deep appreciation to all TVET stakeholders, both physical and virtual, for honoring this iconic and momentous occasion. Chief guests, TVET at 100 celebration will accord us a historic opportunity to paint a picture of 100 years of TVET journey, encompassing history of TVET, success, challenges, lessons learned, gaps, and potential opportunities for the youth and development partners. Development partners industry, and also the community, to support government plans and priorities for TVET through linkages, collaborations, and partnership. Your Excellency, this function is here at Kabete because of some historical happenings around. The historical of TVET at 100 journey started from humble beginnings in around a time like this one, July 1924, when the colonial government formally established a native industrial training depot at Kabete, west of Nairobi, to offer a 3-year course, trade course, to support the maintenance of the Kenya-Uganda Railway and the rehabilitation of World War I veterans. In 1940s and 50s, the second oldest TVET, Mawengo Technical Training Institute, followed, and Sigalagala 2, Nairobi Technical, Kaiboi, and others in Thika. Machakos, Meru were established just before our independence. Ladies and gentlemen, it is worth noting that during the Second World War, which was in 1939 to 1945, Kabete was converted to a recruit barrack to recruit and train soldiers for the war, the Second World War. It later reverted to a training mandate late after the war, offering a 3-year government trade test in masonry, electrical installation at primary levels, or the former Standard 8, under the Ministry of Education. And then come 1956, it became a technical secondary school. This demonstrates a very clear, the resilience of this institution and its status as the grandfather of TVET in Kenya and sub-Saharan Africa. Today, as we celebrate TVET at 100, whose theme is "If education is the key to employability, then TVET is the master key." A new TVET era is beginning to take shape, and the next 100 years of TVET will be anchored to inspire emotional feelings about TVET, to the position to it effectively respond to labor market, societal needs for enhanced employability, decent work, entrepreneurship, and lifelong learning. In order to remain relevant and respond to labor market, societal needs, Kabete National Polytechnic has continued to keep pace with the ongoing educational reforms. As a result, I'm proud to state that Kabete has implemented the following. In its current, which we are suspecting it should be the 21st strategic plan, which is running from 2023 to 2027, that strategic plan is tailored to support implementation of government Vision 2030 and the bottom-up transformation agenda. In implementing the technical and vocational training as per the TVET Act 2019, or as per the TVET Act number 29 of 2013, and the legal order 92 of 2016 that mandates Kabete National Polytechnic to develop, train, assess, and award TVET qualifications up to the higher levels, or even the higher national diploma level. Accredited, we are also accredited as a qualification awarding institution by the Kenya National Qualification Authority to ensure that our production of quality, transparent, trusted, and globally competitive qualification to serve the national, regional, and global markets. Kabete also has put in place a robust system and structures to implement competency-based education training, that is CBET, and also recognition of prior learning, the RPL. Kabete also has ensured that online and distant learning, that is ODEL, unit is in place to access equity to its qualifications. And also, as Kabete does this, we are also equipped our workshop. We have also equipped our workshops with the state-of-art equipment that are ready to deliver our mandate. Ladies and gentlemen, the celebration today is against the background where we increased students' enrollment from less than 100 in 1924 to 8,520 currently, the students at this institution. The Polytechnic also has 11 fully established academic departments comprising of 78 training programs currently, up to or from less than 5 programs that were there in 1924. On internationalization, Kabete, I'm very happy that Kabete is committed to be a world-class polytechnic in the advancement and recognition of knowledge, skill, competence, sustainable development. It is therefore my trust that these celebrations will inspire renewed synergies among stakeholders to work towards Kabete National Polytechnic, the skill capital of the country and the world at large. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I would like to sincerely thank the leadership of the Ministry of Education, and specifically Madam PS, Dr. Esther Moria here, together with all the critical partners for supporting this noble idea of TVET at 100. Special appreciation goes to the MasterCard Foundation through the Colleges of Institute of Canada, CICAN, for their donation of the state-of-art training equipment for industrial automation and robotic, the only one in Kenya, set to be commissioned by the head of state. I wish you all God blessings as we celebrate the TVET at 100 celebrations and we struggle to uplift the skills of our Kenyan youth. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kabete. And at this juncture, allow me, chief guest, to invite our chair of the council, who is the council that has been nominated here by the Ministry of Education. And let me invite our able chair, Madam Agnes. Yeah, a clap for our chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Principal, Chief Principal. Those who know me know I'm not very good with formalities, so I'm going to read word for word what has been given to me. Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, Your Excellency, the Ambassador and Permanent Representative to UNEP and UN Habitat Embassy of Finland in Kenya, Ambassador Pirkka Tapiola, Principal Secretary, State Department for Vocational and Training, Dr. Esther Moria, Principal Secretaries present, Members of Parliament and County Assembly, development partners, representatives of private sector, Chief Executive Officers present, members of the TVET at 100 Planning Committee. On this one, I'll say Asanteni Sana, that particular committee. Principals of TVET institutions present, parents and guardians, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take this opportunity to warmly welcome our chief guest and your team to this beautiful and historic institution, the Kabete National Polytechnic, as we celebrate 100 years of Kabete National Polytechnic and 100 years of TVET in Kenya. It is worth noting that Kabete National Polytechnic is the oldest TVET, it bears repeating, is the oldest TVET institution, having been established around 1924 as a native industrial training depot to support the maintenance of the Kenya-Uganda Railway. It is therefore not a surprise that Kabete National Polytechnic was picked to host the TVET at 100 celebrations. To this end, we, the Kabete National Polytechnic fraternity, are greatly honored to host these very important national celebrations. These celebrations have come with the added cost of leading by example, being the firstborn TVET institution in the fast-changing TVET space. May I take this earliest opportunity on behalf of the Kabete National Polytechnic Governing Council, management, and staff to sincerely thank the chief guest. I should have added, and trainees. We are all a fraternity. To sincerely thank the chief guest and the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, and PS TVET, Madam Esther Mworia, for making us proud by gracing this historic occasion. Your presence is a clear manifestation of the government's bountiful support and commitment to promoting TVET as a key enabler to the realization of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, BETA. This celebration presents us the perfect opportunity to thank strategic stakeholders, national government, county government, non-state actors, and other social welfare organizations for continually partnering with Kabete National Poly in technical and philanthropic activities, especially those geared towards supporting the implementation of TVET. To this end, allow me to pass special appreciation to the following organizations and individuals who have supported these celebrations. Yes, the PS TVET, Dr. Esther Mworia, who has been the driving force behind the TVET at 100 celebrations, going out of her way to lead from the front. Thank you very much, Madam. MasterCard Foundation, Young Africa Works Project, for donating training equipment. Multi-agency TVET at 100 Planning Committee, chaired by Madam Joyce Mwale. Well done, Joyce. For their dedication in ongoing this historic event. We owe them the success of these celebrations. May we have a clap for that team. I know they've really given their all to make it work. The management of Kabete National Polytechnic, under the leadership of Chief Principal, Mr. Patrick Mushemi, who have made great sacrifices in order to take care of the nuts and bolts to ensure efficient coordination. Thank you very much. He was calling me over the weekend at night. I mean, this thing has been quite a strain on them. Well done for what you've managed to pull up. It is my trust that with these celebrations, all the TVET stakeholders will work collectively and synergistically towards changing the lives of many unemployed youth to enhance employability, mobility, and live decent livelihoods. As I conclude, I take this opportunity to thank all the ministries, agencies, and county governments, the productive sector, and other social partners present for continually partnering with Kabete National Poly in driving the TVET agenda. It is my trust that your presence is an indication of your organization's willingness and commitment to collaborate with Kabete National Polytechnic in driving the TVET agenda. Last but not least, I wish to thank the government of Kenya, headed by His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, for giving TVET the prominence it needs and prioritizing industry-based skills development and the formal recognition of skills already gained. At this point, distinguished guests, allow me to welcome the Master of Ceremonies back here to take on the program. Thank you very much. Karibuni.
Thank you so much, Chair. Another applause to the Chair. Thank you so much. So, chief guests, in the house, we have two very strong associations for TVET, and I would wish to call upon them one after the other so that they can give their remarks and maybe introduce their members. And this one I will start with KATI, the acronym meaning Kenya Association of Technical Training Institutes, Chair, Mr. Mwagioka.
Thank you, our secretary. So, our chief guest, Prime Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, leading on protocols established. Good morning. I'm David Mwangi, Chief Principal, Nyeri National Polytechnic, and also the chair, Kenya Association of Technical Training Institutions. Our chief guests, before I make my remarks, I would like to introduce the people who are actually celebrating with us today, who are the principals of technical training institutions. Under that group of association, it has got an umbrella governing body, that is the governing council. So I would first of all wish that all the governing council members, wherever you are, you just raise up your hand, start to raise up your hand. I don't know whether our chief guest will be able to see you. Yeah, those are the members of the governing council. And our chief guest, our association, is not political. Our association is based on advocacy and advisory. So anything that we want to do with the Ministry of Education, we work together. Then we are divided into 9 regions in Kenya. So once I mention the region, the principals from those regions, you just stand up and we clap for them. And we start with the host, that is Nairobi region. Nairobi region. Thank you. We go to South Rift. South Rift. Thank you. We go to North Rift. We go to Western. We go to Lake Region. Mount Kenya West. Mount Kenya East. The Northern Region. And lastly, we have the Coast Region. The Coast Region. Our chief guest, I would like only to mention 3 things that might not be documented when you are celebrating TVET at 100. I would like to say that when Kabete started alleging for celebration of TVET at 100 as an institution, I talked to the principal, Mr. Mushemi, and we went to our peers, Dr. Moria. And we agreed this TVET at 100 will be celebrated by all the TVET institutions in Kenya. And that's the time we crafted a kind of a communication strategy that we are going to have each and every person in Kenya knowing what is TVET. And we started now with what you're referring to as the TVET torch or the TVET frame. And that torch was actually launched at the Nyeri National Polytechnic by His Excellency the President on the 26th of March. And immediately after that, it went all the 9 regions of KATI. And during the President's speech, during that time is where we got now our theme, because he said, if education is the key, TVET is the master key. So we came up with that theme, and we requested him during that time that he will still come and be with us as we finalize this communication. So as we celebrate, we are celebrating communication to the masses, that TVET works. And I would like to say this. When our president was the Minister for Higher Education, from 21st April to 19th October 2010, the roadmap of TVET was set. And during those 2 years, the session papers, then we ended up having the TVET Act in 2013. And we are celebrating it. In 2016, 2017, we could not, our chief guest, get trainers from the Teacher Service Commission. Reason being, Teacher Service Commission was posting people with the 2 teaching what? Subjects. And all the principals who are seated here, the trainers who are here, their certificate is written B.Ed Technology, Civil Engineering. So we stayed for 2 good years. Made a deliberate decision our chief guest in the Presidential Working Party, one of the recommendations is we have a trainer service council. Because once again, the principals who are seated here and the trainers who are seated here, their work does not belong to the public service. Ours is a more dedicated service than going to an office. So, sir, when you get time, and I'm very sure that His Excellency will listen to you, we need this Trainer Service Council as soon as possible. The other thing I want to say, I'm only mentioning what we are not going to mention in the course of our celebration, is the TVET CDAC. Our chief guest, in our TVETs, we don't sit for exams. And this is a confusion we have been having, because NEC, they sit for what? Exams. We assess projects as exams. I'm seeing in social media that the TVET CDAC people have agreed it goes back to NEC. We are not the same. We are not the same. So, sir, when you go back once again, even as we talk about the mergers of the parastatals, TVET CDAC is our examining body for assessment, not sitting for exams, for assessment. And we appreciate if we can be able to have it so that as we move CBET, because that is where we are, we have a body that understands who we are as TVETs. So with that, I don't want to go to the details, because the whole of today, the whole of tomorrow, the whole of Thursday, we'll be talking about where we have come from as TVETs in Kenya. But let us celebrate and make sure that everybody in Kenya knows about TVET, because that's the reason why we had a prolonged year for marketing TVET. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Another applause to our chairman, because he has actually clearly said what is in the heart of all the TVET fraternity here. Now, the other association chief guest, we have KENAPCO. I don't know whether KENAPCO you are here, meaning Kenya National Association of Private Colleges, because we have many of them, more than 1,000. Do we have KENAPCO with us? KENAPCO? Seemingly they are not there, but we also work closely with them. The other team that I would want to call here to give the remarks is the industries. But I may not be able to call all the industries, so I'm going to call one of our very close friends, that is Rajiv Alola, to come and represent the industry and give a remark. Rajiv.
Good morning. The Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi. The Principal Secretary for TVET, Dr. Esther Moria, and all protocols observed. Once again, good morning. It is a great honor to stand here today as we celebrate a remarkable milestone, 100 years of technical and vocational training. The theme, if the education is the key to employment, TVET is the master key. Sometimes master key is not understood correctly because some people use it for different, but this is for actually the master key for achieving the purpose, sustainable employment. If the education is the key, I've just read, encapsulates the essence and critical importance of the TVET in today's world. Over the past century, the TVET has evolved and adapted to meet the ever-changing needs of our industries and economies. The sector has been the backbone of many advancements, providing the skilled workforce necessary to drive innovation, economic growth, and social progress. From the traditional crafts and trades to cutting-edge technologies and digital competencies, the scope of vocational education has expanded exponentially. The evolution reflects Kenya's commitment to providing relevant, high-quality education that meets the demands of the modern industry under dual training program. In today's competitive job market, employment is a key concern for both graduates and employers. Therefore, proper preparation of students during their tertiary education and training is imperative. I note with appreciation that recent reforms in the TVET curricula by the Ministry of Education are designed to represent to industry's needs, ensuring that graduates are job ready from day one. Ladies and gentlemen, as industry representative, we have a critical role to play. In this success of the TVET, our collaboration with Polytechnic TTIs ensures that curricula are aligned with the real world changing methodologies and technologies under production 4.0. We bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical application by providing apprenticeship, internship, and on-the-job training. This partnership not only enhances the employability of the graduates, but also contributes to the overall competitiveness of the industries. I commend the Principal Secretary for TVET, Dr. Esther Moria, very dynamic, very hands-on, for her proactiveness towards engaging industry in training. To enhance the dual training program, a task force was formed between the State Department of TVETs and the private sector industries, whereby there was representation from the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the Kenya National Federation of Jua Kali Manufacturers. And we also added later the agriculture key initiatives. The task force main mandate was to deliberate on strategies for enhanced industry engagement for the sustainability of the dual training program. The report was launched on 9th of July, Your Excellency, 2024. The task force is currently preparing roadmap for recommendations made for the effectively implementing the industry training. Some of the key areas under the focus of this developing a framework of engagement that will provide a guideline on how the skills gap identified by the industry in the various sectors can be met through training relevant curricula by TVET institutions, as well as proposed for the development of curricula for the gaps where training programs do not exist. The supply-driven training will not only provide the requisite potential employees, but also reduce the time taken by graduates to transition into the culture of the workplace and save on pre-deployment training by the industry. In my closing remark, Your Excellency, the future of TVET is bright and full of potential. TVET institutions must continue to embrace new technologies, incorporate digital literacy into their programs, and foster a culture of lifelong learning. This will enable our workforce to stay ahead of the curve and meet the challenges of the ever-changing technologies, especially under the AI. Once again, as we celebrate the century of TVET in the industry, we as industry reaffirm our commitment to the invaluable sector. We shall continue to work together. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rajiv, for your good remarks. And now, chief guest, before I sign off by doing the last task that I'm supposed to do today, allow me briefly to introduce my colleagues. They are all here. And I'm going to start with our SAGAs, that is semi-autonomous government agencies. So CEOs and chairmen around, kindly start and wave. That is, we have CDAC, we have TVET, we have KenQA. So those are our SAGAs. Thank you so much. Then finally, my colleague who we work together with at the ministry, that is State Department of TVET, you can all stand and wave to the chief guest, all of you, including those who are at the county levels. We are quite a big team, chief guest, and those are the people from the State Department of TVET. Thank you. You can have a seat. Finally, there is something I talked about, a milestone, which occurred in the year 2011, and our chair, Mr. Mwagi, has alluded also to that. Then there is also another milestone that happened in the year 2022, when His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto became the president of this country. And of course, he has been the supporter of TVET #1. So finally, we knew our supporter #1 is at the highest office in the land. And he has not disappointed. He has supported us up to this day. And we know he's also going to continue supporting us as we continue. And on top of that, he gave us the better, that is bottom-up economic transformation agenda. And truth be said, the better agenda is 100% TVET. Because it is TVET that is giving the human labor, that is learning the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. And for this, we are very happy because it has put TVET on a pedestal. And finally, number 3, what His Excellency did, he gave us a very formidable PS. She has been given many names, including the mother of TVET and many other, which I'm not going to say. In the name of Dr. Esther Moria, and she has re-energized TVET to what it is today, because it was kind of crumbling under the weight of some fights here and there. But now, she has steadied the ship, and we are continuing very well. and we are praying to God that she's going to be with us for some time, so that she can be able to steady that ship, so that by the time she will be saying kwaheri, that ship will be up on its way going to greatness. And for that reason, I want to invite our PS, Dr. Esther Moria, and we can welcome her with a round of clap. Yeah, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Your Excellency, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, before I make my remarks, kindly allow me to welcome another of my very pragmatic partners, Tabiora, please, the ambassador. Come and say a few things.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll try to stick to those few things. I do have quite a few sort of pieces of paper in front of me, but you will bear with me, I hope. Your Excellency, Prime Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, my dear friend, Principal Secretary, Dr. Esther Moria, Chief Principal of the Kabete National Polytechnic, Patrick Muchemi, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot start to express how delighted I am to be here this morning. To be here at the opening ceremony of the TVET 100 Years Conference. And the theme has already been mentioned a number of times. If education is the key to employability, TVET is the master key. And that is indeed true, because we need to build a better link between the needs of industries, the needs of society, and education. And indeed, for instance, even in Europe, you will see that we sometimes have even an oversupply of university-trained people, where actually TVET skills are more and more needed. And I'll get to the importance of that a bit later. Now, let me start, however, by congratulating the Kabete Polytechnic for being the first TVET institution in Kenya, established a remarkable 100 years ago. So, if we are here to celebrate TVET in Kenya at 100, well, we're in the right place, because this is where TVET in Kenya was born. So, congratulations for your vision, for your 100 years, and really for paving the way for vocational education and training in Kenya. Now, let me say that personally, TVET is particularly close to my heart. And for reasons which may not, and I'll get to the modern society in a moment, may not be that linked to the modern society, but rather to my own character. I am very particular on quality and aesthetics. My colleagues hate me for being a little bit of a perfectionist. Okay, now she's laughing. Okay, I'm not a little bit of a perfectionist. I value things to be done well. I value the work of a skilled tailor, a good hairdresser and barber, a carpenter doing great furniture, a welder, bricklayer, mechanic, or electrician who actually gets wires hidden and the sockets straight. Not to mention the creations, and that unfortunately is seen in my midriff a bit, of a talented chef or bartender. What brings these people together? They're all craftspeople, they're artisans, artists in a way. They're essential to our daily lives. And one thing which is very clear, they do not come from universities, they come from TVET institutions. They are learning through work and through education and work, woven together. And they deserve much more recognition than they very often do get. So this is why it is so important that we are really celebrating 100 years of TVET. And I can tell you, as my investors are interested in Kenya and so on. If you have a great workforce, you'll have great investment and you will have great opportunities. And let me also note that with the economic partnership agreement with the European Union, with our markets already now opening to Kenya, quality sells, and that is important. Now, I am not speaking here just on behalf of myself. I'm very honored to have been asked to speak on behalf of your development partners, because we are currently, as Finland, chairing the technical working group on TVET and youth employment, and they need to go together. In Kenya, there are over 20 countries, over 20 development partners who are making substantial contributions to the TVET sector. They work closely with the government of Kenya and key stakeholders in the sector as a whole. So this celebration and the conference comes at a time when the world is facing multiple crises. There are changes in society, such as globalization and transformations in the world of work. These have introduced new opportunities for schools and learning. Additionally, the efforts towards digitalization and artificial intelligence, as well as the challenges of achieving a sustainable future, must be considered. Green cells, and we had, and I was listening to our friend representing the industries, talking about the importance of alignment. And yes, I of course started being a sort of particular to the old-fashioned TVET professions. And yet I must say that according to the World Economic Forum, in many industries and countries, the most in-demand occupations or specialties did not even exist 10 or even 5 years ago. The pace of change is accelerating, and TVET must follow, institutions must follow, to really bring modern societies. Amongst the change, turmoil, and uncertainty, what we know for certain is that young people are our most valuable asset, and they will require meaningful engagement now and in the future. And here Kenya, with a median age of 19, is particularly rich, but also particularly facing of challenges to keep them employed. Somebody said that every year in Kenya you get 1 million new young people coming to the labor market, and there are sort of formal jobs for about 200,000 of them. This is a challenge, but I'm sure it's a challenge which, if we work together, we can really, really bridge. Kenya's population is growing, and harnessing the potential of youth and creating jobs for young people is of utmost importance for growth, but also for stability. This is very, very important. Many young people do lack necessary skills to meet these demands, and that brings unemployment. International partners are proud to support economies to deliver on the ambition of bringing employment. Investments in practical-oriented TVET have shown to increase job prospects and earnings for individual students. They have shown to drive employment, entrepreneurship, innovation, and labor productivity. These are needed to develop the economy. And I am convinced that Kenya can break that glass ceiling and move from a lower middle-income country to a higher middle-income country and beyond. That requires a lot of work, of course. On behalf of our development partners, I'm really glad to note that investments in TVET and the private sector growth are really on the top of the current administration's agenda, Dr. Mudavadi, and your presence here really underlines this importance. And Kenya has really made impressive gains in improving TVET over the last decade. The number of institutions have grown, and enrollments have grown massively. This is important. Now, quality, access, and relevance are what you really need to look at. Education is a vital cornerstone of economic competitiveness. And this reminds me of around 10 years ago, I was asked to comment a World Bank report on whether in Europe, this was very Eurocentric, but I'll say it still, whether countries with big, heavy government or very libertarian government were more efficient and brought better possibilities for their citizens. And you know what? That didn't matter. Investment in education and research and development was what mattered. It was not the size of government. So you can actually see what really matters. We, as development partners, we're committed to supporting you in your journey towards making the TVET system more efficient. Now let me, and I'm talking long, I know, but there's a lot to say, highlight 3 themes. Private sector collaboration, industry here again, quality and inclusion. Private sector collaboration with industry is really key. Strong TVET industry linkages ensure that students acquire the skills that are really needed. We are working closely as Finland, together with Germany, on something you call the dual TVET model, where we're really collaborating with private sector so that the education is relevant and suitable for industries. And students go from institutions to practice, to be interns in companies. This approach, this dual training system, this brings results. And the commitment to this training system is very strong in Kenya. Many development partners are working on it. We're establishing structures, policies, and processes for nationwide implementation, and yes, I will also join those who praise my dear friend, Dr. Moria, and the State Department for TVET for their good work done and commitment. Secondly, quality and relevance of education. We really need to work on the quality of teachers, and that was already mentioned, their training. This is extremely important to ensure that the delivery of competence-based education and training existing and new TVET teachers are getting the tools they need. And let me really acknowledge the important role of TVET trainers here. And finally, I would be untrue to the principles of my country if I would not mention gender equality. I was joking about that already a little bit earlier when somebody said we need the men to do the job. I said, no, you need the women and men to do the job. As stated in the National TVET Blueprint Axis, participation and equity in TVET is not uniform across the country. We know that today too many girls and women are held back by bias, social norms, and expectations influencing the education they receive. Now, STEM education is something very close to my heart because girls want to be part of the technical and mathematical sciences as well, the scientific part of it, the stuff which earlier was called suitable for boys. Now, I've been a humanist my whole life. If I would have followed gender rules, oh God, if somebody would have put me to do anything more technological, I'm sure there are many girls much more committed and competent than me to do that. So let me just say, it really is important to be inclusive and really to work on gender equality, but also inclusive in other ways. TVET is especially relevant as a pathway out of poverty from youth, from lower income backgrounds, young persons and disabilities, with disabilities, and young women. In addition to relevance and quality, we really need to look at equal access to TVET. So, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, you can now sigh of relief, I'm about to conclude. I really wish to encourage everybody to participate very actively in the coming days. Development partners in the TVET space, together with our Kenyan partners, want to contribute to a strong forward momentum in the TVET sector in Kenya to ensure that all the energy, motivation, and creativity of young people is harnessed for economic prosperity and more resilient livelihoods. We are dedicated to working with the government and with industry and other stakeholders. And yes, very often you hear, oh, but TVET, it's not that. I mean, you should go to university, you should go to college and so on. That doesn't matter. Go where you get the education you're interested in. And if there's one thing we are committed to, is to working towards making TVET cool again. Asante sana. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, let me confirm to you that when we met one time at I won't remember the exact time, at the Kempinski to launch the TVET Germany and Finland collaboration, I made a clarion call on the two, Germany and Finland, that we not only collaborate in training, but also in availing opportunities for work for our would-be graduates. And today, I am excited that the ambassador is now confirming that their doors are now open for our young people. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, and all protocols observed, please allow me to ride on the already established protocols, and I want to be brief, Your Excellency, and I want to say that it is with great pride and joy that I stand before you today to celebrate a remarkable milestone, the centenary celebration of TVET. We honor a century of transformative skills development that shaped our nation and workforce to the success that we witness today. This celebration is not just a marker of time, but a celebration of evolution of TVET towards its role in nation development. The vision of our forefathers who recognized the critical role of technical vocational education in nationalizing our public service and boosting economic development is hereby celebrated 100 years later. Ladies and gentlemen, in recent years, our government has taken hold of steps to modernize and enhance TVET sector. Significant investments have been made in this sector, which have already been spoken about, Your Excellency. These efforts have borne fruits, and we are witnessing a resurgence of popularity and prestige in technical training. However, as we look to the future, we must recognize that the journey is far from over. The world of work is evolving at an unprecedented pace, driven by technological advancement and globalization. It is imperative that our TVET system remains agile, responsive, and ready to advance with the times. I hereby want to recognize my fellow former PS, Desai Kabete, for the tremendous work that he's doing through a program like Ujuzi Manyatani that is reaching out to the youth in the marginalized areas to ensure that no one is left behind in development of competent skills. And Your Excellency, like I said before, we are working on the ASAL area to ensure even those young people in the crime-prone areas are really brought to the fold through TVET. And Your Excellency, we are working very well on that program, and sooner than later we shall be announcing that all the pocots in those caves are actually on board as far as skilling is concerned. One of our priorities moving forward will be to enhance this inclusivity to ensure that regardless of gender, disability, socioeconomic backgrounds, like I've already said, have access to quality technical skills. In conclusion, Your Excellency, we owe a debt of gratitude to the educators and trainers who have been the backbone of this system. This unwavering commitment to imparting skills and knowledge has empowered generations and generations in Kenya, and we commit to continuing in this space. As we celebrate this TVET at 100, let us work together. Government, educators, industry, and the communities to build a TVET system that is innovative, inclusive, and responsive to the needs of our economy. By doing so, we will ensure that TVET continues to be the driving force in Kenya's development after this celebration of 100 years. Before I conclude completely, Your Excellency, I want to take this opportunity to thank my organizing committee led by the Principal Secretary Kabete, Kati Chair, Joyce Mwale, and all the other ladies and gentlemen who have literally spent sleepless nights to ensure that this celebration is a success. Please give them an applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much to the entire committee that has worked this hard. And Your Excellency, from time to time, I would come and be with them and realize that they were doing a very good job. I want to, in a special way, to recognize Munene. Where is Munene? And what is his name? Maindi, where are you? Maindi is there at the back. They worked on the documentation day and night, and I'm told, Your Excellency, they burnt midnight oil to ensure that all the documentation that we needed is well done. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I do not take your dedication for granted. I want to, of course, again thank our working partners, our development partners, Your Excellency. They not only have been with us in these preparations, and you have already been told that they even supported us financially, but they have been a serious driving force for us to be where they are. Thank you very much, our development partners. They are many, and we recognize you. We take your work with us seriously, and we recognize you inadvertently. Your Excellency, other than the development partners, I want to thank Rajiv and his partner, Kantaria, because when I asked them to come on board and as industrialists to help us really link with industry, they came in. We formed a task force that we have now finished, and we are now in the process of implementation of our findings. Because, Your Excellency, we began by ensuring the curricula is recrafted, and that I worked out very well with my department. We ensured that CDAC was in place, and we forever thank His Excellency the President, because he asked your former colleague, CS Mashogu, to have CDAC back in 2 weeks, and it was back. And once we had now the training of CBET and the CDAC in place, Your Excellency, we were able to place the department on a platform where we could push it ahead. And we have worked very hard with all these colleagues that you saw, our sagas. The Kenya School of TVET has been able to recraft our trainers so that they are able to implement the curricula as should be. So we want to thank the Kenya School of TVET. The TVET authority has been able to ensure that whatever it takes for our institutions and our levels of training be where they are, Your Excellency, they have done a very good job for us. We want to thank KNQA because they have ensured that, Your Excellency, we have a framework where we are going to load our qualifications, and so that they are recognizable across the globe. And of course, TVET CDAC. We are still walking the journey because, like the CATI chair said, we are not going to be doing exams. We are going to be assessing projects and qualifications. Assessment of what the students are doing, Your Excellency. And that is why CDAC had to come back so that we are doing practical things. And of course, Your Excellency, the big body of principles. The principals across the country, Your Excellency, we have had numerous and unnumbered conversations on where we must place this institution, this department. And Your Excellency, I want to say that the principals have remained my foot soldiers. We have worked very hard. We have had unnumbered conversations so that we are able to place TVET where it must be placed, because the president told us that TVET is the master key. And unfortunately, Your Excellency, when I had a conversation with you and him in Mombasa, you heard him saying very loudly, yes, you go and be with them on Monday, because I'm going to be there on Wednesday. This is his space. And I enjoy chindi. In fact, he is the one, when he is asking you a question, he already knows the answer. So, my friend, it is very difficult to be in these shoes that I wear, because you wear shoes of a person who knows everything. So, and Your Excellency, remember, we didn't even have to remind him that you'll be here on Wednesday. It is him who was telling you that you'll be here on Wednesday. So we want to thank him for the unequivocal support. And you know, he allowed you, and you humbly agreed to abandon your work in Mombasa to come and be with us today. Please give His Excellency a clap. He is supposed to be in Mombasa as we speak now, but he agreed to be here with us because as top government, they recognize that this is the department that will beseat the development of this country to the next level. And there, ladies and gentlemen, we have to go. We have to take this country to another level of development, and we are going to each do their part. Kila mtu, each and every one of us, we need one another. Whether you are from industry, whether you are from class, whether you are from top government like Dr. Musalia Mudavadi and the president himself, we all need to do our part, because this is our lovely country. We need it to take it to another level. And for the youngsters, I don't think they are here. We need to remember that we need to take care of this country. This is a beautiful country. And I have been saying, and I say that we all make mistakes. If today His Excellency Dr. Ruto was not the president and Njao here was the president, he would still make his mistakes. We would still have questions to ask. So let us ask questions within a serene environment where you young people can still grow up, can still make a difference. But when we decide to do things that are not moral, things that are not good for this country, then we are disadvantaging everybody. Let everybody do whatever they need to do at young, at middle age, or old level, so that we are able to take care of this country. Your Excellency, I've been telling these people, I was in one of the, let me not mention it, one of our neighboring countries not too long time ago. And I longed to come back and take a cup of tea. Because even the plates and the cups that are presented to you, you cannot be quite sure that you should actually put. I was with Alice Kande. Oh, Alice, now you might know where we were when I say I was with Alice Kande. And ask her. We were told not to get out of the hotel, Your Excellency. And the day me and Alice decided to get out of the hotel, we actually came back very quickly. Ask her. Why? Because the place is so dirty. And when we asked to be taken to a TVET, to some TVET institutions to go and see them, Your Excellency, those institutions had desks that I lastly saw when I was in nursery school. Don't ask me which year. And that is what they are calling their TVET institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a responsibility to take care of this country because it is a beautiful country. With those very many remarks, allow me now to take the humble duty of inviting His Excellency Dr. Musalia Mudavadi to come and speak to us. Please give him a better clap as he comes. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Please be seated. Okay. Well, Dr. Esther Thara Moria, Principal Secretary, State Department for TVET, Madam Agnes Kimili, Chairperson, Kabete National Polytechnic, Governing Council, Ambassador Pirka Tapiola, representative of the development partners, Mr. Patrick Muchemi, Principal, Kabete National Polytechnic, Mr. Dave Mwangi, Chairman, Kenya Association of Technical Training Institutions, chairpersons, members of councils and boards of SAGAs and TVET institutions, principals, CEOs, representatives of various stakeholders, including industry, exhibitors, innovators, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Now, before I make my formal remarks, let me just take a minute or two to say one or two things. First of all, can you imagine trying to put together a birthday party for somebody who is 100 years? You know, it's not easy. When people were young, you would imagine that your parents, when it was possible, would have a cake there, and then maybe you'd have 1 candle, 2 candles, 3 candles to blow. Now, here we have 1 major flame, because you cannot put 100 candles on a cake anymore. There'll be no space on that cake unless it's gigantic. So you have 1 flame to celebrate 100 years. Just try and conjecture that picture. It becomes very interesting. The other thing is that how many friends of yours will be available when you're celebrating 100 years? You will find that literally there'll be none. So where does the fun come through? Now the fun and the happiness, I believe, now comes from the fact that that person who's 100 will be celebrating children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren, all having come from that one source. So today, we're here to celebrate this 100 years of this institution, but also to celebrate now the many institutions that have arisen out of this one important seed that was planted. If my father was alive today, he would be 2 years short of this institution. And I bring that up because he was an educationist, and when we were young, I know he interacted with this institution at that time while he worked for the Ministry of Education. And on one occasion, during that period, we had an opportunity to stay in Kangemi. I stayed in Kangemi for about 2 to 3 years as a young man. And how did we know this institution? We knew it, and I was trying to ask Agnes, is there some institution here? We knew it as Kabete kwa magego. Because I think not too far from here, there was a dental clinic. Is it opposite the road or something? It's somewhere? Nightingale, somewhere here. Mountain View. So when we would grow up, when they would make reference to the place where you go for treatment, to have your tooth dealt with, either uprooted or fixed. So that is how then they would market the institution. Yet, that was a very small component, and this is the big institution. So today, as we celebrate this 100 years, we really now must market the TVETs. We should not associate the TVETs with Magego. Now it should be perhaps associating TVET with dental equipment that can be manufactured by this institution. So that there's a whole reversal on how we look at TVETs and how we want to help in promoting this very critical sector of our economy. So let us celebrate this 100 years more rejuvenated. And I really want to associate myself with the remarks that the previous speakers have made. And indeed, the President was very resolute that he will be here on Wednesday so that he cannot miss out on this 100 years of greatness. So ladies and gentlemen, now let me revert to my formal remarks. I am delighted to join you this morning as we mark the centenary anniversary of technical and vocational education and training TVET in Kenya. We are here to celebrate the remarkable milestone we have achieved in our journey to empowering our youth, fostering innovation, and driving economic growth through skills development. Let us recognize and appreciate the dedication and commitment of all those who have walked our country on this transformative journey of 100 years. We particularly pay tribute to the visionary missionaries who established the first technical schools. To policymakers, educators, administrators, and industry partners, you continue to shape the future of technical and vocational training, ensuring a steady supply of skilled manpower for our country's development. Our presence here gives us an opportunity to reflect on where we have come from, what we have achieved, and the lessons we have learned along the way, to enable us to chart the way forward for the next century and beyond. TVET has evolved from humble beginnings into a cornerstone of our national education system and a key enabler of our economic development. The journey of 100 years started from humble beginnings with the establishment in 1914 of the first informal government school for Africans, known as the Government African School in Machakos for vocational trades. It was later, in 1924, that a formal TVET institution, the Kabete Native Industrial Training Depot, was established to provide semi-skilled manpower to various industrial and vocational jobs maintenance of the Kenya-Uganda Railway and rehabilitation of World War I war veterans. From the first seed, TVET has expanded to a network of 2,401 institutions across the country that produce skilled and competent technicians and technologists for all priority sectors of our labor market. We have TVET institutions in 238 constituencies, covering over 80% of all the 290 constituencies. That now really is the celebration of these 100 years. The government has invested heavily in TVET infrastructure to stimulate regional growth and equity. It has upgraded and equipped TVET institutions with state-of-the-art equipment and machinery to ensure Kenyans trained in TVET skills are globally competitive. Furthermore, it has mainstreamed TVET for differently abled trainees through our dedicated TVET colleges. These initiatives have enhanced the demand for TVET training. As a result, enrollment of trainees increased by 51.8% from 250,733 to 380,638 during the financial year 2021 to the financial year 2023-2024. Medium-term expenditure framework period, the enrollment of differently abled trainees rose from 3,301 to 4,497 during this period. To support the rising enrollment, the government scaled up the recruitment of additional trainers. In the 2022-23 financial year alone, 1,300 trainers were hired. Recruitment of another 2,000 trainers interviewed during the 23-24 financial year is at an advanced stage. The government's scholarship program, focused on the trainee, has ensured equity and inclusivity by providing grants to needy students. Over 1.95 billion Kenya shillings has been disbursed this year to 52,542 trainees. In addition, the Higher Education Loans Board disbursed 6.5 billion Kenya shillings in loans to 166,924 trainees. This hybrid model, aligned to the funding needs of individual trainees, is designed to enhance retention and completion, ensuring that no one is left behind. TVET's phenomenal growth has become a game changer for our country. It is a key driver of social and economic transformation at national and local levels. It is worth noting that TVET has supported Kenya's transformation through 3 industrial revolutions, from the second to the fourth. We are now in the fourth or 4.0 industrial revolution, characterized by rapid technological progress, demographic transformation, and climate change that are shaping a new world. The fundamental challenge for us now is to position our TVET training to adapt to the emerging global environment and demand for skills in new areas of growth, such as artificial intelligence and advanced robotics. This is a key area of focus by the Ministry of Education, which is investing in TVET education and training technology to prepare our youth for the fourth industrial revolution and beyond. I wish to applaud the leadership of TVET, led by PS Dr. Moria, for the zeal and passion with which you are implementing practical programs to empower our youth by scaling up enrollment and linking them to the job market. It is refreshing to note that you have, since September 2023, fully implemented the competency-based education and training, CBET, which is an innovative and flexible curriculum that aligns TVET trainees' skills with the industry needs. Through TVET partnerships with the private sector, you have ensured that TVET training programs are responsive to the needs of the labor market and our society. This commitment is being accelerated in order to have as many TVET centers of excellence as possible in liaison with industry. These initiatives are in line with recommendations of the Presidential Working Party on education programs, which highlighted the need for TVET linkages with industries and partners on training, assessment, and public-private partnerships. The State Department for TVET has embarked on implementing these recommendations to strengthen existing linkages and establish new ones for dual training, capacity building, and infrastructure development. This will ensure transformative skills development in specialized skills areas are accessible to all. These partnerships include one with Konza Technopolis, together with the Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy, that has established digital hubs in 127 TVET institutions and delivered 11,520 virtual desktop infrastructure. This infrastructure is being used for training the youth both in the TVET institutions and their neighboring communities on digital competences and connecting them to online jobs. The youth, majority of them, the Gen Z, are earning an income through this online platform. Moreover, the recognition of prior learning policy framework launched in March 2024 ensured that the knowledge, skills, and competences of our artisans who acquired skills through informal and non-engagement are recognized and certified. Another big thing for TVET is the National Research Fund that the government is using to promote research, innovation, and commercialization in TVET institutions. This will spur creativity and an entrepreneurial culture and support the transition of TVET graduates into the labor market. It will also offer solutions in critical areas of our country's development, including the impact of climate change on food production and the need for clean, sustainable energy. You will agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, that we have many achievements to celebrate. We have walked a long road with challenges and opportunities that have shaped the role of TVET in our national development. We have a great opportunity to enhance the quality of our TVET trainees and trainers, to equip them with quality skills that can fit well in job markets in Kenya and abroad. Our TVET graduates are taking advantage of the bilateral labor agreements we have negotiated with foreign governments to access accredited jobs in international labor markets. Collaboration between the state departments of TVET, Diaspora Affairs, Labor and Skills Development, and Immigration and Citizen Services has embraced the whole of government approach in delivering on the government's promise of securing quality diaspora jobs. Finally, let me take this opportunity to appreciate all the students who have gone through the TVET institutions and their instructors for demonstrating the importance of technical skills to Kenya's industrialization. To all stakeholders and partners who have supported the TVET sector, your collaboration has contributed to Kenya's growth and prosperity. And as I speak, I also look at Ambassador Tiapola, because the 20 or so partners working with us are indeed most welcome. Thank you. So let this centenary celebrations renew our joint commitment to advancing technical and vocational education in Kenya, TVET will be an important catalyst for transforming Kenya into a newly industrialized nation. Congratulations to all of you who have been part of this transformative journey. Asanteni sana, and God bless TVET. Thank you. I will not say much more. I said my piece earlier, and I took advantage that today I'm the harbinger. On Wednesday, the president will be here, and therefore I had to say my piece today, because when he's here, I will not say much. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Asante sana, Your Excellency Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, Cabinet Secretary for Diaspora and Foreign Affairs, and also the Prime Cabinet